Today's lesson is on angles and sides of triangles. First, we'll look at our key idea for angle measures of a triangle. The sum of the angle measures of a triangle is 180 degrees. So x plus y plus z would equal 180. For our first example, we're finding angle measures. Find each value of x, then classify each triangle. For A, we're going to have x plus 28 plus 50 equals 180. We can then solve this equation, so we'd have x plus 78 equals 180. We would then subtract 78 on each side, and x equals 102. The value of x is 102. The triangle has an obtuse angle, so it's an obtuse triangle. For B, we're going to have x plus 59 plus 90 equals 180. Then we can solve our equation. We'll have x plus 149 equals 180. Then we'll subtract 149 from each side, so x will equal 31. The value of x is 31. The triangle has a right angle, so it is a right triangle. Now we have an additional example. You can pause the video and try it on your own, or you may follow along. Find the value of x, then classify the triangle. For number 1, we need to add the 3 angle measures and set that equal to 180. So we're going to have x plus 78 plus 27 equals 180. Now we can add 78 plus 27 and we'll get 105. So x plus 105 equals 180. Now we'll subtract 105 from each side. So x equals 75 degrees. This would be an acute triangle because all 3 of our angle measures are under 90 degrees. They're less than 90 degrees. For number 2, we're going to add our 3 angle measures. So we're going to have x plus 44 plus 45, and then we're going to set that equal to 180. Now we're going to solve our equation. So 44 plus 45 is 89. So we're going to have x plus 89 equals 180. Now we'll subtract 89 on each side, so x equals 91 degrees. This triangle has an obtuse angle, so it is an obtuse triangle. Now we'll look at our key idea for isosceles triangles and equilateral triangles. An isosceles triangle has at least 2 sides that are congruent, which means they have the same length. An equilateral triangle has 3 congruent sides. An equilateral triangle is also equiangular, which means they have 3 congruent angles. For our second example, we're finding angle measures. Find the value of x, then classify each triangle. For A, we're going to add our 3 measurements. So we're going to have x plus 128, and we'll set that equal to 180. Now we can solve our equation. X plus x is 2x, so we have 2x plus 128 equals 180. Now we're going to subtract 128 on each side. So we're going to get 2x equals 52, and now we can divide by 2, so x equals 26. The value of x is 26. 2 of the sides are congruent, so it's an isosceles triangle. For B, we're going to add our 3 angle measurements, so we have x plus 60, and set that equal to 180. Now we can solve our equation. X plus x is 2x, so we have 2x plus 60 equals 180. We can then subtract 60 from each side, so we'll have 2x equals 120, and now we would divide by 2, so x will equal 60. The value of x is 60. All 3 angles are congruent, so it's an equilateral and equiangular triangle. Now we have an additional example. You can pause the video and try it on your own, or you may follow along. We want to find the value of x, then classify the triangle in as many ways as possible. So for number 3, we're going to add our 3 angle measurements and set that equals 180. So we have x plus 120 equals 180. Now we're going to solve our equation. So x plus x equals 2x, so 2x plus 120 equals 180. Now we can subtract 120 from each side, so 2x equals 60, and now we'll divide by 2, so x equals 30 degrees. This triangle would be isosceles and obtuse. It's isosceles because at least two sides are equal, and obtuse because it has an obtuse angle. The obtuse angle is 120 degrees. For number 4, we're going to add our 3 angle measurements and set that equal to 180. So we have x plus x plus x equals 180. X plus x plus x equals 3x, so 3x equals 180. Now we'll divide both sides by 3, so x equals 60 degrees. When we classify this triangle, we can say this triangle is equilateral because all 3 sides are equal, equiangular because all 3 angles are equal, it's acute because all of our angles are less than 90 degrees, and it's isosceles because at least 2 of our sides are equal. Now we'll look at our third example for finding angle measures. An airplane leaves from Miami and travels around the Bermuda Triangle. What is the value of x? So we're going to write an equation to solve this. We're going to add our 3 angle measures, so we have x plus 62 8/10 plus 63 2/10 equals 180. Now we can solve our equation, so we're going to have x plus 126 equals 180. And then we're going to subtract 126 from each side, so x equals 54. The value of x is 54, so the correct answer is C. Now we have an additional example. You can pause the video and try it on your own, or you may follow along. In example 3, the airplane leaves from Fort Lauderdale. The angle measure at Bermuda is 63 9/10 degrees, and the angle measure at San Juan is 61 8/10 degrees. Find the value of x. So we're going to set up our equation. We're going to have x plus 63 9/10 plus 61 8/10 equals 180. Now we're going to solve our equation. So we're going to have x plus 125 7/10 equals 180. And now we can subtract 125 7/10 from each side. So we're going to get that x equals 54 3/10 degrees. Don't forget to fill out your notes, and remember to watch the video again if needed.